Okay, hi everyone, welcome to the first video for 102 CR as we've moved on to an online delivery. Hopefully this will be the first of many videos that can help you finish your coursework. So the one I want to start with is Client Brief 4, which I know some of you have been struggling with a little bit. So we're going to have a look at the brief and we're going to plan out how to do it, and I'll show you some of the basic stuff so you can get started. So the first thing to do with any of these is to actually look through the client brief and make sure that your work is kind of going in the right direction. Normally the briefs have kind of like a few key skills, so it gives you an idea of what kind of thing you're getting into. So here we've got some 3D modeling, we've got some animation, materials, maybe not worry too much about that, rendering, and then a bit of post-production. So maybe we need a little bit of editing or something after then, okay? But it's mainly like these two first ones. So, dear designer, we have recently taken on a project to present realistic 3D characters ready to animate for a range of creative contracts. Woohoo, good for you. Unfortunately, our design team is unable to complete this task, so we're having to outsource it, right? So that's normally quite a normal thing. Companies like Decagon, for example, do a lot of outsource work for other companies. So they need us to complete the following. So number one, produce a high quality humanoid character model. Okay, so they're being kind of vague. Humanoid, not necessarily realistic, but there's kind of some rules on what we do and do not do. Ensure the model has a working animation rig. So that's kind of like hard work, but we'll do that after we've done the model. A short demonstration video of the model moving, preferably walking, but not necessary. And then exported file. So we'll for the coursework, we'll make sure we've got that in the folder. So there's no requirements for gender or theme for the model, other than that being a biped. So we need to figure out what biped is, but apart from that, we're okay. So I guess we need to kind of come up with a plan on how to fill that. Okay, so for our plan for Client Brief 4, we know we need to make a human. So let's just quickly go over that. It says biped, humanoid, those kinds of things. So we just want to kind of make sure we're on the right page. So this is a human, also known as a humanoid. We know it's a human because it's got a head, it's got arms, and it's got legs. Usually two of each of the latter, but sometimes not. But we'll assume that in the brief, it's quite generalized. We'll assume that that's kind of what they're looking for. Now, they also mention biped. So biped is a word that sometimes we use for a human or humanoid type character, and it generally refers to something that walks on two legs. So you might have like a wizard biped, you might have an orc biped, those kinds of things. And we know that it's a biped because it has one leg and two legs. So two pedal bilegs, okay? We can also have quadrupeds, like dogs, cats, and those kinds of animals, and they walk on four. But that's a lot trickier, so we're just going to focus on biped. So we know that we need to make a shape human that looks a bit humanish, a bit like our image here, and walks on two legs. So what do we need to do? First thing we need to do is we need to make some blueprints. So you can either draw these or you can find them online. If you do find them online, make sure that you reference them. It's always important to say where you got things from. So I looked on VectEasy for mine. You'll probably find them if you go on there. It's a bit of a dicey kind of Google search, so make sure that you've got Safe Search on if you're looking for those kinds of things. And I kind of like the one that we picked because it's not gender specific or anything like that, so it's just kind of a bit more relatable. And so once we've got those blueprints and we've got them sorted out, we need to set up our 3D scenes, and we need to plan, we need to think about the scale, we need to get our way of getting our blueprints into our 3D scenes so that we can model them. And then once we've done that, we can start making our basic model. So it's sort of inserting some shapes and things, and I'm going to show you how to do this in 3ds, but obviously you can use any software that you like, and obviously look for other tutorials and things like that. Look for ways of doing it that suit your workflow. And once we've done that, we're going to make an animation rig. So the animation rig kind of controls the model, moves it around, and gives us something to keyframe. But before that, obviously, we need to connect it. So we're gonna set up our blueprints. We're gonna make our scene. We're gonna make our model. We're gonna make our rig, which is separate, and then we're gonna connect them because obviously we want the bones of the person to move them. And this is often referred to as like skinning. And then once we've done that, we need to animate it. So these are kind of like the 6 main areas. So let's go ahead and if you search for some blueprints if you want to follow along, so it's a good pause point, or if you want to go to Moodle, I'll make the ones that I used available so you can follow on exactly as I'm doing.